last night, January 18th, about 6:20 at night, I was in the laundromat in Louisville. Some little kids come running in laughing. It's funny, they raped her. I go in, and some ladies are in there. I was hoping she'd do laundry at her uh, friend's house, so no one would say anything to her. Well, I thought, and she said they they raped her because she tried to get someone help. Well, I thought they raped her because of, and she said no, it's because she was trying to get someone help. We already got our answers from her. Earlier today by what she was thinking. It it was the army that shipped her. I know, it's gross. She's an informant. We all know that. Okay? A guy and a lady was in there, and they were saying it was army too. There is bad cars that sit on the front of the army base that yell and harass me. When they abducted me, 12/21/18, they stabbed me on the neck at the refrigerator. They had to take me somewhere to do an illegal surgery. I know the undercover police were part of the rape and torture. Okay? And the one was a dark gray truck, white, 6-foot man with dark eyes, about 200 pounds. Pretending telling everybody he was an agent and he was just a dirty undercover officer. Okay? The man that told Paymer that I called the FBI, he is white, 30-ish, late 30-ish, 165, 5'9", 5'10", black hair, dark eyes, black glasses, looks like George Timothy Ludick. Could be his kid, it's that close. The FBI said none of this was them. People were breaking in, stabbing me with needles. In my sleep, lying to people that they had sodium pentothal reports. And they don't use it. It's a legal, lethal drug that you say yes to everything. I had bruises all up and down my arms and legs. Before I called the FBI, I thought it was from moving wood. Then to find out that Dave drugged me before, and the church people. And then the rogue undercover officers for Michelle were helping out, and for Judge Pete. None of this is funny. Last week, I was in Circle K on Fulton Road. I went in to use the bathroom. There's women outside the bathroom, okay? I know she never said she did anything wrong before. We made a mistake being in her, watching her in her house before. Well, someone said she touched herself. I don't care at this point. They raped her. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. That was the Circle K on Fulton Road, first thing in the morning, beginning of the week. That's the toxic water people. They put two clips together, made a porn, and they March 2nd to the 3rd, they were outside bragging. They've sold the login to the Neurochip, the car, and the apartment, and to everything else, and the house before that. These people are ridiculous and absurd. Some little kid even had the app to the Neurochip in Maslin. when I went to go say something to that Terry. She got out and looked at her phone and went, oh my goodness, she's going to say something to that lady. She said, I know, nobody thinks it's funny what's going on. I was in the hunger task force last Monday or Tuesday. There was 2 men in there. We found out the guy here knew that they did all those tapes before and he didn't say anything, that it was them. When we found out it was some guy named Eric helping him. And security's walking around the informants here. Make sure nobody says anything to her. I hate these people playing with this chip. If you Google paralyzed man plays computer, runs a computer with brain chip, paralyzed man plays video game with a brain chip, it comes right up. They've had them for years. They use it in the medical field, Cleveland Clinic. It is an illegal strategy for the truth. Our government recognizes remote neuromonitoring electronic brain links as synthetic electronic telepathic war weapons and an illegal strategy for the truth. Used by other governments. Used by perpetrators as a heinous crime. It's against all human rights and all basic human dignity. They put the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th over it. I hate these people playing with it. You get this overwhelming thought of something, and then it's like, no, I wouldn't do it. And then, like last week, some guy was asking me about the toxic water, and it made me choke. And it's like, that's not what happened. This didn't. I was thinking of it in Paul's apartment. And then I walk outside, and he's standing outside with the cell phone. She knows that overwhelming feeling is us asking questions. And I got my answers. She didn't do it. And he left. I got my COVID virus shot. There was a lady bending down in the aisle in Walgreens on North Main. They just want her to die for. I don't think so. I go to leave and there's a man walking in. He said, what did those kids get caught stating? They made everything up. Okay. And a bunch of them left. They did. Thanksgiving of 18. They made everything up. Yeah. And last night, which made me even furious, there was some guy talking to some lady, said, so it's over with her, right? Outside the laundromat. He's like, no, they're not going to let it go. Someone said she touched herself. And I'm like, what part of toxic water, 2 clips together, put me in a porn? And they already laughed. It was a shower scene. And the bald guy with the hunger task force on the 9th already knew you did it. And a week ago, there was a guy in there who knew that you guys did it and you drugged and framed me before. And they told Ed Oakland apartment at 4 o'clock on December 9th it was you guys too. And he told an African-American man. And on December 2nd at Save-A-Lot, the one African-American lady that had made fun of me for the 2 clips together and put me in porn, so it made me look like I was being weird with myself when I just wiped off water running my clothes on. She showed up with the lady and said, we're not supposed to say anything to her. We found out they made all that up. Yeah. It's not funny anymore. None of this is funny. They send false pulses through the neurochip all the time to see my answers. Or put false memories and think, now we got you. Yeah, well, a real judge would rip you a new one. Rip you a new one. Look at that court order and say you just got 20 years in prison. That's where it comes down to it. It's RICO charges. It's assault charges. Attempted murder. You want to apply? And our government, you went against our government. It's treason. And it's attempted murder. You don't want to play with this. Mercy Medical and Altman Hospital, I forget which one I was talking to. They said if they take that chip out, your brain will go back to normal. It doesn't matter who put the chip in. The law states under Justice for Victims of Torture and Terrorism Act, they have to pay to take it out and compensate me for the rape, the torture, the chipping, the drugging, framing, the possible septal infarct in my heart, and the public humiliation of them selling the lock, and for all this more to be other people's enjoyment. And nobody has a right to touch it. And nobody, any kind of police station would even address the toxic water. I could own them. Because, like the officer in Louisville said, they had no right in your home. It's illegal surveillance. I would own them. And we'll put it this way. No officer, no agent, no man, no lady. No one ever questioned me or interviewed me about anything dirty. I was beat, raped, and tortured between July and September of 19. I finally said yes to whatever they wanted. Before, I had bruises on me, and people were lying in Walmart that they had sodium pentothal reports. They don't use it as a lethal outlaw drug. They say yes to everything. Now, I've never talked to anyone. You can only surveillance somebody in their home under attempted murder. That's it. You can't get a court order, and they yell out, the attorney has it. Well, there's nothing filed against me. I went to Portage County Courthouse records, and that's the only place that could do it, and they can't do it because it's conflict of interest. Because it's for my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna at a store when she had a stomach spasm. For my daughter, they did all this for. And our family watching her doing this. And for whose care is rich boyfriend but the state of Ohio, who would protect her? Food counter, Walmart, 2019. A white woman, African-American man screaming out, Judge Pete's wife. He may be retired. He looks like a little old Santa Claus. Hanging a picture of him hanging on the wall. Peter something. Okay? Judge Peter something, and him and Timothy did that skit on 9/18/19 before you had us look into it. You knew she couldn't handle it. You knew she appreciated us doing it. You can find she did nothing wrong. Judge Pete walks by. Judge Timothy comes in laughing. We're ready to begin. He's been around me for 3 years, and it's supposed to be his daughter, Michelle. That's where the undercover police, the two African-American guys with dreadlocks, we stayed out of the gunshot nights because Dave's girlfriend's prettier, and the guy running it didn't blame us. There's an old white guy with gray hair and mustache that makes fun of me, too, at Walmart. Yeah, none of this is funny. Not a damn bit of it. You want to put your name on it? I'll tell you, on you. But there is cars on the front of the army base that follows me around and yells stuff at me. Why would they? I don't know them. Like I said, some of the army guys were helping out run around. One of them asked me whose girlfriend I was, and I said, no one, I'm married. He said, what will her husband think? And they laughed. I thought they were joking. I don't know them. So, but yeah, they're wrapped up tight in this somehow. I was talking outside in my vehicle. One of their vehicles pulled out. My voice was echoing from the car. They're wrapped up tight. And they said something about a colonel several different places. I don't know, but they had to take me somewhere. And whoever did it to me, and it's a simple surgery. They remove your skull and your skin, lay the disc down, expand it out, and then surgically glue it back down. It takes like an hour. Why was I out 6? Stabbed in the neck at the refrigerator. Blame the FBI on March Stabbed at the refrigerator, 12/21/18. There will be a video of it in the case. March 13th this year, or of 21, to Dr. Alan Martinez, they blame the FBI. At the front counter, they tell the nurses, we're here for Karen's Will. The agency chipped her. They walk around Walmart. The case is called Karen's Will from the agency. So I thought it was the FBI. But it wasn't. They lied to people. They were FBI and they weren't. Told you, Walmart's a cesspool. There's a group of them right after 12/21/18 within the first 15 days by the TV. We implanted a neural chip. We all can read your thoughts. I thought they were lying. They weren't. It needs removed, and I don't care who did it. I expect them to fix it. And everybody, they told them to get rid of all their tapes before and shut the fuck up. The law states illegal surveillance because there was no murder investigation. It's thrown out. There's a conflict of interest for Michelle. It's thrown out. The law states you go to jail and have to compensate me. That's a law. You have a right to privacy. You have a right to remain silent. Right to legal representation. You can't afford one will be appointed. You have a right to a trial. Yeah, you have rights all over the place. One guy that's on my Facebook, he said for these people that think they can give their rights away so easily and get them back easily, did they forget history? Exactly. Our Constitution 245 years ago became intact that the government could never hurt its people, no matter who it is, or they become the criminals. Melissa's kids were caught stating they were making everything up on Thanksgiving of 18, all the mean games of pretend. And you know what's something, what they're describing, my daughter-in-law Jen actually did it in a towel in front of everyone. November 29th, I go to FedEx. Some guy came in and said nobody even thought, her family didn't even think anything of her wiping off toxic water with clothes on. Of course not. They would have said something. Their parents would have said something. But yeah. Some idiot up there looked at me, old white guy. For every idle word you say, I'll turn it on you if you tell on us. He said, I'll even list you a dirty word. And I thought, you can't. I'm not a dirty word. They already found those kids lying, interviewed my whole family, and they spoke highly of me. They already told me that. And they better almost died to save them. And he's like, you even try to leave, Dave, I'll list you a dirty word. I thought, you can't. And yeah, it was so bad. In January of 19, I went down. There used to be a tactical place that you could go shooting in Maslin. Okay. My shoulder had got tore up, and where I didn't answer my phone, Dave chicken winged me, knocked me in the railing, punched me twice in my stomach so hard. He caused permanent inflammation. He didn't get arrested for it. Even when I reported it. In state law, he goes to jail for it. Okay? Because it's in the muscle, it was from my shoulder and then around my shoulder blade. It would look like a banana. It was so swollen. And my arm would lock up and freeze. Okay? That, he wanted to go down shooting, and I had got this new gun, and I was having a hard time even steadying it by trying to hold that arm up that was tore up. And some guy said, she's stupid coming in here shooting. And the guy looked at him and said, she has nothing to worry about. They tried to frame me for the gunshot knife. Some girls were complaining, that guy is crazy, helping them out, trying to get away with all this. He is. They were complaining about him in 19. The Massillon police are looking for an Eric and Steve. They mentioned it in November at Massillon Stat Care. We find it funny after everything they did to her, nothing's admissible. We're looking for an Eric and Steve that are stalking her. Steve called Carb, so my plastic surgeon, so he went and did my face right. I went down to Fine Arts and Lasers. I just had a facelift a year ago. First thing he said, to fix your face, you need a facelift. He didn't pull the skin tighter enough. He did it on purpose and took my money. They were calling him up and saying, Steve, I know you taped her before, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, Steve. I never had no man, no officer, no agent, no lady, nobody in my home. Nobody came question me, ever, or formally accused me of anything. No one ever did. Ever did. No one did. Ever. I never spoke to anybody. I had bruises all over me. And it came out 8/9/21, first thing in the morning. It's so funny. She finally figured it out. It was Dave, the director, first, and told her to say it. Well, then, 8/8/8 of 21, 8:15 at night to 8:30. Did you know he fentanyl her and told her to say it before? No, we just didn't know. They knew the kids were lying. So, yeah. May 25th, Louisville in town. The church people weren't funny, breaking in before, drugging her and telling her to say weirdo molester stuff. That's not funny. 1295 Ellen was talking about it and screamed at him. And then the Sunday afterwards, the heavyset blonde girl that Dave was also dating came down from Ravenna, and there was goons sitting on Fairlawn Street. Said, are you crazy? You can't enter a drug confession. Well, we just found out they drugged her and told her what to say before. That was Sunday after May 25th. Of 21, and here it is, January of 22. They're trying to stall for me to die from the chip. The apartment building for me, second one close to the fence. After 8/9, they told the guy with a badge, loud enough for both parking lots to hear. Yes, they did drug her and tell her to say it before. They made fun of me. Oh, in November, I can get you the time and day of when they said Plato's Closet. They gave her those amnesia drugs she'll never remember. And then lady comes in Menner's Closet. I found out those kids made everything up. I told these boys to stop saying stuff to her. I told you there's witnesses all over the place. And it's not funny. Even a week ago, Monday or Tuesday, I was in the laundromat in town. Some girl looked at a guy and said, are you sure they drugged her and told her to say it before? He said, yes, they even framed her before. There's a lot of people with pre-knowledge witnessed of being clips together, being drugged and framed and then taped, and they had no right in my home. And people said they were even choking me and abusing me. That's why I had so many bruises. I had them all up and down my arms. I had them on my legs. And during the case, I thought I would hear footsteps and I would have marks on me, and then people would lie that they had sodium pentothal reports even in Walmart. They don't use it as a lethal outlaw drug. You say yes to everything. And I've never talked to anyone, nor was I accused or questioned. Nothing. Only thing I have is weirdos running around yelling dirty words at me on lies and photoshopping. And I'm tired of it. The officer in town said they had no right in your home. And we can't look, we can't listen. It's illegal to. And they need to thank God. Because I'll tell you what was it? September 21st or September 20th at 2:30, 3:30 in the morning. Dave holds me down. I love you, but I love her more. And I'm so sorry, Karen, you have to die for. And they would have that. I hired a man to slit your throat. You'll bleed out, Karen. Mm-hmm. But it's the only way we'll have everything. And if you try to run for it, I got a man to put a bullet in you. And if they go, yeah, and if they go to that Monday or Wednesday, when I talked to that Terry on the phone, they'd have that conversation where I didn't hang up and I thought I was getting baby mom. They would have, guess who was on the phone with? You're kidding. I almost tricked her into coming down to prayer where those two men to take care of her. You know, they pay people to know where she's at. I could have used the money. Yeah, I actually told her I'd step in for prayer for her, as if I couldn't believe it came out of my own mouth. Well, that's about as bad as Kaylee using another minister, because Keith charged too much money. Well, you know who was in the meeting to hire those two men to murder her? It was Keith Bishop, Strange, and Ron. And they took up $25,000 to have her murdered. Mm-hmm. Because she got well the year Ron's kids died. Ron's kid died, and he wants her dead. I had nothing to do with Ron's kid's death. Phil ran a stop sign running late for a baseball game. Almost 19 years ago. My whole family's 30 miles away. Phil ran a stop sign and semi hit him. Blew up the vehicle. Phil wasn't in trouble and Tyler got ejected and got killed. It's that sick. He lost it at the funeral, laying on the ground, screaming, wailing how to carry him out. He had been laying his body over the child, screaming, God raised my kid from the dead. It was bad. 8 years later on a pulpit at Blaylock's church. I hate God for taking the thing I love the most, not demeaning my other children, but I hate him. He's a millionaire. They said he wants me dead because I dare get well the year his kid died. I remember Strange lying to everyone that I wasn't sick, and I was lying that I got well. I have evidence I was sick and evidence that I'm fine. Well, I was fine till they chipped me and drugged the hell out of me and raped me. And it had nothing to do with nothing. I was months later. Do you know some idiot up there said he could prove I was faking I was sick? I have documents I was sick. MRI reports. Blood work. Yeah, it's that sick. These people were so wrapped up tight in that churches. It's sick. The whole thing's sick. The whole thing is demonic and sick. Even some children were outside over the weekend. It's sick what's going on here. It is. It's extremely sick and mentally ill stuff. You would think you're in a Purge movie of, we got this woman in a cage and we're tormenting her until she died. We raped her, we drugged her, we framed her, we photoshopped her, we chipped her, and now we're going to mock her till she dies and threaten her. And then we're going to try to extort money out of her and get her in trouble for our crimes. It's sick. And these people are helping out. They don't care if they kill people. They don't care if they kill your children. They don't care if they rape you. And you know, these people that think it's funny, I think they need raped. I think they need raped and tortured, and I think they need publicly humiliated and put it on the internet for people's personal enjoyment. I think they need neurochipped. I think that they need drugged and framed and everything they had in life, lose it. If they think it's funny to do this to someone, then I think it needs to happen to them. Then they will find out, and when no one helps them, see how funny it is. Yeah, you want to be demons of hell? You need to have it done to you. We'll see how funny you think it is. Have it done to your wife, your children, your daughter, your granddaughters, your nieces, your nephews. Have it done to you. And when you think it's not funny anymore, then maybe you'll get some common sense. These people are sociopaths. They have the ASPD disorder, antisocial personality disorders, that they think laws do not pertain to them. They're the killers, the rapists, and somebody who do illegal surgeries like they're Frankensteins around here. They think they're fucking funny. Somebody needs to get off their ass and do their job. Because who's going to stop them from doing it to the next person? And they may already be working on other ones. Because when Dave was outside, when I called Will's secretary back at Canton FBI, he had a list. And they're going to move on to who they want next. And this will not stop if it's not stopped.